keep forgetting to change the menu on this, and it's really doing my head in. So I've been working on the configuration and came up with a solution, and the new array with the segment moving from left to right in that direction, we have very little, actually there's a certain amount of propulsion as well in that configuration, and it works a lot better. So what we have with it is we have back biasing. So these two magnets at the back are the main generator magnets, as are those. Now by placing these entry magnets as it enters the coil, so I've got my coil running across and around the back and all the way around on the canopy, and this is a back biasing magnet as well, but it's set further back behind the anti-drag lens, anti-lensing effect magnets, which create a cascade ripple in the magnetic flux. It basically distorts the magnetic field so that instead of it wanting to kick backwards, it actually kicks it forwards. So it's hard for me to show you this at the moment, but I've just ordered some more magnets, and it's going to cost me a lot of money, so I'm going to be eating a bit thinner this week, but my daughter sent me some food, so I should be alright. So it's hard to show you this. Alright, if I get my magnets, you see that? It wants to fly out the end, but this magnet here is actually pulling on these magnets here. These two main neodymiums here are actually pulling on this pole of the magnet. Let's just try it. But look at it, it wants to go to that end, which is brilliant. So if I come in on the entry point, it moves right across there, and once we get to this end, as it's leaving, because remember the coil's wrapped around the canopy and coming round, so by the time this magnet here is leaving the other coil on the other side, we're already in a crossover point anyway. At that point we're in a crossover section where the field is swapping from one pole to another. So when we get to this end, there's virtually no attraction on it. So how else can I show you this? Right, well, if I get my deflection gauge and I bring it in, you'll see that it's deflecting there a lot, and just tap it, and this is the my gauge was squeaking then. That's weird. Huh? Weird. So that's the biasing magnet that's at the back, that's set back, and that's pushing on my gauge, and also that one is pushing on the gauge, right? So we have a deflection there. Now let me get my Gauss meter, my magnetometer thingamajig, my new toy, to show you how strong this field is. It's very strong, as you can see. A long way out there, look. So let's move across it. Oh, my finger came off the button then, sorry about that. We don't have any dead spots. We have a really uniform magnetic field now coming out of here. And all the way out here, look. Let's compare that. Let me get a ruler so you can see. Get my ruler. Right, if I stick my ruler, I need to move my keyboard out of the way. blooming hairs on the... Where's that hair sticking out? Right, so there's my ruler. Look at the millimeters. Right. So we're about 60 millimeters, 70 millimeters, and it drops off, right? Go to the middle section, it's a lot stronger. So if I put this on the end of the ruler like this now, look at the ruler. We get to about 70 millimeters from the segment. So we have a nice strong field, and it's anti-cogging as well. Let me just show you what the difference is. My wire's a bit short, I don't know if I can show you right, there's the generator rotor over here, right? Let's show you what the difference is with these. Look at that. I have to be a lot closer, look. I can't hold the ruler, but it's about the same, I think. But the new segment design, which I'm working on, is... Well, I've got to print. Oh, I've got some off filament. I'm printing in grey right now. Let's just see if I can show you this. I'm going to lay it on the table. It's probably going to spin around. Right, I'm going to put my magnets underneath. And I went off the end there. I don't want it to spin. I'm trying not to make it spin. Let's see. Right, my magnet stuck to the bottom of the table now, look. Right, on the end. Let's drag it away. Right, it's pulling a bit, but not much. Oop. But by the time it gets to that end, as I say, the last coil gets to the end, it'll the cycle will be completed by the time it gets there. So anyway, when the coil is entering, and it's just left from the previous pole, it will have a residual of the opposite pole. Now this is the opposite pole on these magnets, so this is going to push a bit, right? And look, it's not pushing it away. It's pushing up, but it's not pushing away. Look at that. That is really interesting, isn't it? So this pole, you would expect it to push it in that direction. Excuse me. Let's try that again. But it's not. I'm definitely under the table, look. Oh, it did. Excuse me. It did that time. But it's very little. It's not strong at all. Pushing. So it's got very little drag. So the entry of the opposite pole as it leaves the previous segment will have a certain amount of push, but not much. Then once it enters, it will start to attract onto that magnet, and it will be reversed. The magnet pole will reverse. It will start to pull on it, which is what it's doing now. But instead of it actually dragging backwards, watch what happens when I let go of this magnet. It pulls to the end, look. Watch again. Watch this. Goes, flies right to the end, and it's got little drag at the end. Very little. Hard to show you this. But anyway, it'll be very interesting to see that when I get yeah, I've got to print another 11 of these segments now in this new configuration, and so yeah, it's going to be a few more days. Well, yeah, it's looking much more promising in that configuration. I need to go and make myself a coffee, I think. It's funny because when I start talking, I start getting this tickly throat, and I don't know why. It's probably because of the cigarettes, I don't know. But anyway, the only problem is, at the moment, I mean, I've ordered another 100 of these little magnets, which I need. So I'm lacking on these big chunky magnets, which are, let's see, these big things. I need another 2 of these, which I'm probably going to have to get later on. But so these chunky ones, which are the back biasing, which go behind the anti-drag mounts, I need two more of them. So we'll have to sort that out later. But I am quite surprised with this. Let me just, I've got some ferrite stuck on that. Hang on a minute. So when this comes in, I've got this upside down now. When it comes in, it's stronger in the middle because of the back biasing that we've got going on. Which is, peak point is there for each end, and then the middle one is a strong one. So this is going to work a lot better, a lot more output, more current, more voltage. The reason I put these little slots in this side down here is because if I put magnets in these holes here, I've got no way of pulling the segment out of the rotor. So these little slots are just in case I can't get the damn thing out and I've got to pull it on the sides. So I'll put that in there now so I can pull it out the rotor if this is blocked with a magnet, because that was where I used to pull it out the canopy. Well, now it's going to be populated with these big magnets at some point. So anyway, that's it for now. Just a little update on situation, where we are at the moment. I've just been really tired last few weeks, really. I don't know what it is, but we'll get there eventually, I suppose. So I've got the new canopy, which I'm doing a new one in grey at the moment. I've got some more filament, thanks to Ian for sending me some 10 quid to get some more filament. So this is the 1/2 of the new canopy. I've just printed out the other one, which is on there, which needs to be cleaned up and acetone treated. The next thing I'm going to run out is acetone, and that's going to have to wait until, well, I suppose I'll be alright for another couple of weeks. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I've got to leave that in there. I don't need to dry out because I want to stick the 2 halves together without them shrinking. If I let that one dry out, it'll shrink and then it'll be the wrong size compared to the other one. So I've got to treat that one as well with acetone and then join them together. Then they should be equalised.